This is the Wonder Review podcast. I'm here with my brother Admin. I'm with Deker, aka DeMarvin, and we got a special guest, Fandads. So we got a bunch of topics that we're gonna slowly get down. And yeah, so right now, I know off screen we were talking about C2E2, and I saw that you had like pop collections. I see the figurines in the back. So So, what are your thoughts on like collecting stuff like that, like figurines? Because I got my Mortal Kombat one recently. You know what I mean? And then I got like
Mm.
a Halo Reach in the back somewhere. So, what's your thoughts basically on like collecting stuff like this? Because C2E2 they got all the stuff for it. So that's one of the things.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's. I think like when you get to a certain age, start getting more um, particular on the stuff you want to get. Because I know when I was younger, it was like everything and anything Star Wars I would buy and buy and buy, and then ended up like having too much stuff, and then it was just like, let me start thinning this out. Let me start selling some things. But like for my daughter, like her thing is like just anything Spider-Man,
Yeah.
like Funko Pop or like figures. Like she'll try to buy something like that. For me, it's always like for Star Wars now. Instead of doing everything Star Wars, I've toned it down just to anything Boba Fett.
Okay.
Because before I had the one behind me, I had in my old place, I had one that was all just filled with like Boba Fett stuff.
Nice.
But Spider Man is also like one of my main characters. So now it's like I switched it up. So this one is all like Hot Toys Spider Man. Um, and the thing with Hot Toys is that they're not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
So
pricey.
yeah, so it's like I can't be buying like like five or six of them at a time. I gotta like
Yeah.
take advantage of like payment plans and whatnot, and
Gotcha.
just be patient and wait till it finally shows up. But yeah, I mean, buying stuff that you like is awesome, but after a while, you're gonna be like either not be able to walk through your room and have all these things there, and then you know it's cool to have them, but then after a while, like I said, you're gonna just want to make it. Let me just focus on one character. Like you guys were talking about One Piece earlier, so if there's just like one certain character from that has a lot of different variations, jump on all of those, or because if not, yeah, you're gonna have like a storage room that they're just gonna sit in and collect dust until the one day you're like, let me try to sell these, and then they won't be worth anything. But then again, it's just sometimes it's just like it's the thrill of the hunt, like finding that one item that you really like.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that now that you say that, what is the hunt prize, not possession, but what do you want to get for next collection? For me, I want to get the Ryuk pop from Death Note. That the price keeps going up, so it might be a little harder. But like, what about you guys? Like, what would you say?
Hmm. I don't know. I need a Goldie Roger from One Piece.
Oh, yeah,
I
that makes
haven't seen him
sense.
anywhere, and he's a little pricey too, as a Funko Pop.
Okay, okay. What about you, Decur? You pondering?
I think this is just because I never had it as a kid, but I always saw it. Basically, if you ever saw like the Dragon Ball Z DVDs, there would always be like on DragonBallZ.com, get the new Dragon Ball Goku, right? So
Yeah.
like having one of those vintage Goku like Super Saiyan 3s or original like Broly or things like that. So one of those figurines and see, that nostalgia hit different. So yeah.
Okay, okay. And then what would you say? Would you go for that prototype Boba Fett, or what's your go-to hunt right now?
Um, I have. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that would be like a dope one to have, like the Boba Fett that came out years ago with the rocket actually shot out. But that's like that's up there, and I don't think I don't think my wife would be happy me spending that much money on a toy, an action figure. Excuse me. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There's like older like Hot Toys like Spider Mans that came out before like I even started buying them. That would be dope to get. I know they've reissued like some of like the Tobey Maguire ones. So maybe
Yeah.
if I can get one of those, like the Venom one, would be nice. Um, but yeah, I mean it's kind of hard because there's like a million things that you want to get,
Yeah.
but then you gotta like try to figure out which one do I really need to like make me say okay I'm done. But then it's like oh maybe am I really done? Or
Yeah.
there might be something
Yeah.
else.
You gotta have
But yeah,
something
if
in
I can get one
box
of
to do
those,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
because something always comes up.
Yeah, that's true. You're lucky you're not collecting like Hulk or something. Those are like big figures.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
lucky
I've
with
I've seen the boxes of those, and I'm like, man, that's shipping on that must be
yeah.
terrible.
So, because I know Hot Toys, they do like I think they probably do the best like statues. So, how much does one like cost? So, let's say as an example, like the one Spider Man you got in the background.
Um, like the Spider Verse ones, I think they were like at 250, 220.
Okay,
And
okay.
then like the low end, I guess you would say would be like maybe like 175 if you're lucky, like maybe on sale. But they go like from two and up. I think like the most I've seen was the Hulkbuster
Yeah,
Iron Man, and I think that was like 700. And I'm like, that's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. It's crazy. And then so because we met in C2E2 because of Decur, shout out. All right. So in this time of C2E2, like, is there? I know we talked about a little bit. Like, are you trying to go for the C2E2 like exclusive Funko Pops that they're gonna drop, or you're trying to maybe not buy stuff at C2E2? Because we usually leave with a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I like when like the Comic Con started coming out here in Chicago, like the Wizard World, and all those. I always would have a list of comic books that I wanted to get. So there are still like some books, like some old Spider-Man books that I want to try to find. But now I feel like I try to get more like the collected editions instead of the individual issue.
Yeah.
Because if the individual issue is not that much, then I'll buy that. But if it's like if the price of that alone is the price of like one of the other books, then I'll just buy a book instead. But maybe I don't know. I gotta see because it's usually like when I get there, like day one is always like that scouting day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll walk around and see what people have, see what they're selling at what price, and then I'm like, okay, this one has it for 50, that one has it for 40.
Yeah.
So let me come back tomorrow and get that one over there, and then just keep doing that. And then, but yeah, every now and then though, they'll like something will pop up that I'm like, oh man, they have this here. Do I really want to get it now? And like, but when am I going to see it again? You know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
then like try to talk them down every now and then if they can't. If you know, sometimes they'll bargain with you too. You know, especially on that Sunday when they don't want
Yeah,
to
the last
take.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday's like the best day because no one wants to take all that stuff back home. So like, I could give you this for that, and then sometimes they say yeah. Sometimes they'll be like, I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's exclusive right now that they're gonna have. I mean, obviously they always have like the gear, but we'll see when we get there, or as we get closer to that date, like who, what I actually want to buy or what I want to look for. But nowadays it's just to walk around, talk to people, and take pictures.
Yeah. Are you gonna be like interviewing people there, like the journalism thing, or what are you gonna do? Or is it just like a chill
I'm
day?
ho- I'm hoping for it. Like usually, like how I would do it would be like that first day would be like I said, like the scouting day. Just walk around, see what's there, see who's going to be there, and then like take notes. Okay, like I didn't know this person was going to be here because they weren't announced. So let me see if I could talk to them and set up an interview like on while they're here over the weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of times though, it's a lot of the stuff is through publicists, so you got to reach out to them.
Hmm.
C2E2, like they do reach out to you and let you know, hey, these are the people that are going to be here. If you have interview requests, let us know. And I always like put in my wish list.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, like I haven't had um, clearance, I guess you could say, or like, it hasn't been accepted.
Hmm.
And I don't know what it is. And, usually a lot of the things is like usually with numbers. They want to make sure that you have enough people like following you or watching you.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like some of us that don't have that big of a followers, we do have a good following of people watching us,
Yeah.
but they don't see it that way.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of try to like work around that and see like, if you can try to interview someone because Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to be there. And I'm kind of excited because, he used to write for WWE. He did like, a lot of movies when I was growing up. He's a huge Star Wars fan and a huge wrestling fan and a horror fan. And
Yeah.
those are a lot of things that I'm into. So,
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I would love to talk to him about all that and fatherhood.
Okay.
But, right now it's just wait and see if like, if he is going to be doing interviews, other than doing the autographs and all that stuff, and if I do put a request in, if they're going to accept it or not.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's cool.
Okay,
Have
okay.
you been to any other like conventions besides C2E2?
Yeah, I've gone to like Fan Expo. There was one called like Comic Revolution that was like really small. That was a couple years ago. That I really liked that one because it was more comic creator based. So they didn't really have like any like celebrities or anything there. Everybody that was there was either an artist or a writer for comic books. So it felt like the old days when like the Wizard World first started or Chicago Comic Con first started,
Okay. Yeah.
because it was more just about that, about the art and about the comic books. Now it's like it's cool to have like celebrities there and whatnot, but sometimes it takes away from why most people usually go there or used to go there. Now I think it's all about you know, getting your pictures with, you know, celebrities and meeting them, which is cool and all because there's like, you know, a lot of celebrities I would love to meet. But I mean, I always like that when you could just talk to an artist, maybe not even pay anything for like a picture or for an autograph, and just, you know, talk about
Yeah.
their work for like hours.
Who's
That's nice.
Mm.
do you know who you want to get an autograph or talk to that so far has been announced or not yet?
Uh, Now, yeah, I mean, the only one would be cool to talk to would be like Freddie Prinze, and I'll talk to him. But I haven't really, you know, seen like other anyone else that's been like, you know, announced. Um, I know there's a couple comic creators, but I can't. I'm like drawing a blank right now at the names of who has been announced so far.
Yeah. Cause they added like I don't know if you watched like One Piece or anything like that, but they added the voice actors for that. I know they added the card game Yu-Gi-Oh, some of the voice actors for those. Uh, the voice
Oh
actor
yeah,
for
the
so yeah,
Powerpuff Girls.
yeah, they added
Yeah.
those. A few of the Power Rangers. Uh, Nolan, what's his name? Kiki Nolan from
Nolan North.
yeah, they added him, so that's like one of the bigger names.
Yeah.
So far, so maybe one of those.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I know they did the the Ezra and Hera from Star Wars Rebels.
yeah,
The voices are gonna be
Okay.
there. They're gonna be there.
yeah. That's gonna be good. When do you ever ask the questions when they have like those when they line them up? Forgot what it's called.
The panels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the panels.
yeah, the Q&A.
Yeah. All right. What do you think
Yeah, I
about
tried.
that? Cause last
I mean,
time when oh my bad. Yeah. Cause the
I
last
was
time we
like,
were there, they kept
uh-huh.
asking Namor. Forgot his name in real life, but Namor from Wakanda. Wakanda Forever. They kept asking him the same questions, and I was in line. I'm like, damn, it's all like, yeah, it was literally the same questions. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, those things are kind of cool because you get a lot of people that are excited
yeah,
to go up there and ask a question, but then sometimes too, it's like, you know, this is like your one shot to like ask something to some of these people. Um, you know, you kind of want to make it like something good and interesting, but yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people that they're either not paying attention to hear that the question's been asked over and over, or they'll just ask like something ridiculous that, you know, like there's all those people that go up there is like, you know, can I get a picture? And it's like you spent like 10 minutes in line just to ask that, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they tell you right away not
You
to
could
ask
ask
that.
something else.
Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah,
low key. I think we were at C2E2. Do you remember? Was it Trish Stratus where this dude went up and said, "Can you do
Yeah, I
your
remember.
finisher on me?" Yo, we were dying in the
Yeah.
back. That was hilarious. But yeah, I
facts.
guess
Yeah.
yeah. And those types of moments, like, what are some memorable moments you've had at C2E2 or any other conventions like that?
I think it was like the last one when I asked Rosario Dawson about Ahsoka.
Yep.
Because like I asked her like what I asked if she could like describe in 3 words like what they filmed already, and then she was like she said she said something like they filmed something and Dave Filoni watched it and he was like I think it was like life changing experience or something like that,
Yep.
and like everybody's like started cheering and I was like okay nice, and it got me something forward to look forward to.
Right. Right.
Uh,
That's nice.
Do you like the route Star Wars is heading? Like, cause
yeah.
I haven't seen Ahsoka, but the
Uh,
last like 3 movies, it was kind of shambles. And that's why they kind of went backwards to work on the timeline a little bit. They added the Mandalorian and all these like little stories, which are good. But I'm saying like
Uh,
now that let's say an example like the actor for Kylo Ren, Rey, they're still young, but they're done with that basically, and they're going backwards now instead of forwards. So what do you think about
mhm.
that? That you're a big Star Wars fan, like your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting because there's a lot of like books out there that are, I guess, now considered legacy, not part of canon, or I don't know how they keep changing their phrasing, but it's like there's certain characters that people love, like Darth Revan is one of them.
Yeah,
But not many people know them, you know. So it's like if you make a movie about them, there is going to be that core base that's going to go and watch it. But then there's going to be people that don't know or understand anything about them, and then might not even want to watch the movie, or then come out of it and then like, that was okay. And then those diehard fans will be like, oh, but you're supposed to love them because of this and that. And like, well, I didn't know all that because I didn't read the books or whatnot. I'm interested. I mean, I'm always excited to see something come out because it's like, when Return of the Jedi came out, I was what? I don't even remember how old I was. Probably like 8 or 9. It was like years ago, and I'm like, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
There's no more Star Wars. I'd have to wait till they come out on video to watch them.
yeah,
Uh, and then to keep having stuff like this, it just gets me excited to
yeah,
watch it. I mean, yeah, some of the new stuff that came out wasn't the greatest, but it was still cool to see like lightsaber fights on screen, or like the space battles. Because I mean, if you watch like the older movies, them lightsaber battles were pretty boring because it was just like really slow, step step swing, step step swing. Whereas like the newer ones, there's like a lot of acrobatics put into them because like a lot of these actors, like you said, they're younger, so they could do all this stuff. Like the first time I saw like Obi-Wan and Darth Maul fight, like that blew my mind. I'm like, look how fast they're like going because they were in their prime. So that's good. That's the stuff that gets me excited to see. Like especially in Ahsoka, there's a lot of cool lightsabers battles in there, and just to see the stuff they can do with it.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that too. I just think in the newer movies, I think I don't know why they removed lightsabers. There was only like one throughout the whole three.
yeah.
Just
And it
that
was
blue
yeah,
one there, they kept coming
Anakin's.
back, but I don't know. They could have done a lot more with that, I think.
yeah. It just feels like they had one story going, and then all of a sudden halfway through they decided to switch it around, and then they can never get it back on track.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll
Would
see
you,
what the new ones bring. Hopefully the new ones will be good.
yeah, would you want the see them like try to fix that, like try to continue those stories, or would you rather see like the old Republic and like that
I think
story?
I'd rather see the Old Republic because I think it's there's going to be that group that's going to be out there. It's like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you fixing it? You already ruined it, and then they're going to like do like oh, I'm not going to go see that because you should have done that the first time.
Yeah.
Now you're double dipping and want my money twice, and it's like, no, it would have been cool if they fixed it or if they did it the way they wanted to, but now we just let's move on to the next thing.
Cool. Or just say it's not canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That would be the easy
Yeah.
way to do it.
Not kind of different universe.
Or-
Yeah, cause what were you say, Deker?
No, I was gonna ask a question in general. Like, given that you are like a comic book, how would I say this? Extraordinaire, right? Quote unquote. How do you
Yeah.
feel about adaptations, whether that's Star Wars, Marvel, DCU, and how do you feel like those individual companies slash movies are going along?
I mean, there's some that I've enjoyed uh, to see what they've done with. Um, but then there's sometimes it's just like that they can't keep it too comic accurate because, like we said, like not everybody has read the comics, so they won't understand it. I really like, for example, for Wakanda Forever, I really like how they kind of changed the Namor's story and made him horror with like the Mesoamerican stuff in there. Because
Yeah.
seeing that on the screen, I mean, that for me was just like I have my dad gave me a textbook from Guatemala, like that he used, and seeing like a lot of those skull engravings or whatever in the background of like Namor's like his uh, his home was like it was like dope to see that and it's like things that we never really get to see on screen unless we're watching just like Spanish stations or something.
Yeah.
So seeing they're on there, so I do like that they tweak it every now and then because they know like not everyone's going to get this, so let's try to fix it so we can make it more universal. I do like that they do that. But like sometimes as like that core comic book fan, you want to see exactly like on the screen. Uh, but then sometimes it doesn't really work that well, or people don't really like it.
Yeah, like Secret Wars. Not Secret Wars. What is it? Secret
Oh, the
Invasion.
invasion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Secret Invasion. They strayed a little too far, I think.
yeah. That was I was excited for it when it was announced, and I was like knowing because reading the series, I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna see this in there and see that, and then when it comes out, you're just like, what secret invasion is
Yeah.
this? You know,
So for
like
the
real quick, like
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go
No,
ahead.
I
Go
say
ahead.
like for like in Civil War when they announced that Ant Man and Hawkman are in it or Hawkeye. Like the first thing that popped to my head was like there's a comic book where like Hawkeye has like the arrow pulled back and Ant Man's on it,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh man, if they put that in the movie, that would be so dope. But you never know; they might not do it. And then sure enough, it was in the movie,
Yeah.
and I was just
Man,
like,
it was
yeah,
really
I was so
tight.
happy.
Right, right.
Cause all right. So you read most of the comics for Marvel.
I grew up Marvel, yeah. I grew up reading a lot of Marvel. When I was young, uh, like my babysitter, like when my parents would drop me off, she would have a stack of comics for me that she would buy like at the thrift store.
Yeah.
So it was everything like from like DC and Marvel, but I always liked the Marvel ones more for some reason, and that was mainly because like there was a couple like Spider Mans in there, and like I always related to like Peter Parker, just being like that awkward kid. So I was related to that, and then I like the like for DC. I mean, I like Superman, like the movies. I never really liked the comic.
Yeah.
And then for Batman, I thought he was really cool, but I just thought like, I mean, he's a detective, so a lot of his stuff was really like cerebral. So for
Mhm.
me, it wasn't like I couldn't really get into that right away. But now I'm like, I would love reading Batman comics
Yeah.
just because of that whole detective aspect of it. Not using like his strength to like beat everybody up to get answers, just like solving riddles is what makes him, I think, I like it. And that's why I kind of like the new Batman movie because of that, because it wasn't really just about beating people up. It was about trying to solve these riddles that the Riddler kept dropping on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably my favorite of the movies for Batman.
Oh.
Like I've seen the Christopher Nolan ones; those are really good too. But I don't know, the new one, it felt more like Batman to me.
Mm-hmm. So, out of all the Batman's movies, which ones are your favorites?
Probably see that one, the Batman, the newest one. Right
Oh
after
wow.
that, probably the Dark Knight. After
Right.
that, um,
Not a real fan.
Hey
not a
yo.
real fan. Not the old ones. I'm trying to think, cause they were like cool, but they were little cheesy sometimes.
Campy?
Yeah. So I don't know. Those are the top two for me for right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the animation Under the Red Hood.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
That Batman and with that like storyline is like so good. It's I know they put it into the game a little bit with the Arkham Knight, but I think that one is probably my favorite. I mean, I like the Christopher Nolan ones too, obviously, with the Joker. It was pretty good. Uh, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. I think he did good at first. I was kind of iffy. I was like, he's a vampire from. I didn't know. I didn't know. I don't know if he could pull it off, but I think he did good. And the next one, I'm hyped for it. But what would you say? What's your favorite Batman?
It's funny because I was on a phone with a friend of mine earlier, and we were talking about this because we were talking about Christopher Nolan films. But yeah, I would go with The Dark Knight would be my first one. Um, Batman '89, just because that was like the first time to see Batman on screen again
Yep.
with Michael Keaton and everything. And then watching it now, I mean, yeah, it is kind of cheesy, but it's still pretty dope to see.
Yeah.
And then the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
So those would be my three.
What about Adam West? The old one, the real goofy one.
Yeah, with the shark repellent and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are funny.
Wild.
I mean, I thought
See,
they
I
were
wish.
good.
Joker. Or do
I
you
I
mean,
Marvel?
wish. I mean, I wish I knew Batman, but Dark Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Knight. I don't. Next question.
what?
Nah, but I think I gotta get more into DCU given the way it's, I guess, doing it all over again. But something that has interested me, at the very least, is the turn that WWE has taken. Because I know WWE has, for me, dipped. I don't know about you, but I feel like since the Shield broke up, I just haven't been able to get into
I don't know if you're gonna let it
WWE.
go.
I'm just saying,
How many years ago was that?
too many.
Yeah, that was
It
a
was like
while ago.
2016, I think, or something
I
like
don't know.
that.
I think it's picking up right now. It's pretty cool what the storylines are doing.
Yeah,
With The
Logan
Rock coming
Paul.
back to
Oh,
Logan Paul,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Got
but
him
yeah.
banging
You know,
in the
I don't.
cage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I don't. It's funny to say, like, I don't like him as a person, but I respect what he's doing in the ring.
Right.
yeah.
'Cause, I mean, he's doing stuff that is just like, it looks like he's been wrestling for years.
Mhm.
But I
He's
mean, he just
bouncing.
picked it up for like a couple of years. Yeah, he's doing really good on that ring. Um, but yeah, they got some fun stuff coming up. It looks like it, especially with The Rock coming back and turning heel, which
Oh
is kind of
yeah,
funny.
All
that
right,
was wild.
so are you kind of into what like wrestling now? Like you know what's going on or not? Not really.
Yeah, yeah, and it's yeah, we've been watching. It's man, with wrestling, there's so much. So it's like I'll watch Raw and then SmackDown, and then I record like the AEW, like Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, and watch those like at night when everyone's asleep.
Yeah,
Keep up with them. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Like I used to watch it back in the like the Attitude Era
yeah,
and all that, and then it was like my wife and I we would watch it like when we were dating. We like that would be like we watch those, and then we just stopped. And then like during COVID, um, like my kids were like going on Hulu or whatever, and then there's like the Portobellas.
yeah.
So
Oh
like my wife started watching that show, and then that led to them watching Mike and or Miz and Mrs.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
then from that, yeah, they're like, oh wait, they still wrestle, or at least Miz still wrestles. So from that, we started watching it again, and then
Mhm.
from there, it's like like we all started watching wrestling again.
Yeah, love it.
All
Yeah,
right,
so
so
it's fun.
yeah. So would you rather see The Rock and Roman or Roman versus Cody so Cody can finish the story?
I think the second one because I'm kind of getting tired of the whole everyone keep talking about the story, the story.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, let's just get it. And then I always was like, well, why don't they do it and then have The Rock as a special guest referee, and then
yeah,
maybe The Rock turn on Roman at the end so that way Cody wins it,
yeah,
and then that's done.
Right.
But but we'll see what happens.
yeah,
I mean, they just keep building it up. I mean, like they kind of course corrected with the whole everyone like not wanting The Rock and Roman to fight
yeah,
and how they kind of fixed it. But now we got to see where it goes from there.
yeah. Because I
It might
think
be like
that
a tag team thing.
yeah, tag team would have been decent, but because I think that would have been like a great match, Roman versus The Rock. It's just like bad timing, just because Cody's like, the fans are going crazy for him right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, he's the underdog. It seems like it. But yeah, a tag team match between with him and Seth, and then Rock and Roman will be dope too to see.
yeah, and then
Stone Cold guest referee.
yeah. All right, cause I follow you on Instagram. And when you saw, I haven't seen Iron Claw yet, cause it was just bad, not timing, but I forgot what happened. We ended up not seeing it yet. But
Uh,
I saw in your story that you met CM Punk at the early screening. So
yeah.
like, so not all right. So one, I want to know because we met CM Punk too at C2E2 and we talked to him a little bit. Would you
Uh,
talk about him? One, like what you talk with CM Punk about, and two,
uh,
like, because I'm a CM Punk fan, and like the fact that he got injured and he's not gonna be in WrestleMania, because that was probably like one of his clauses to come back to at least main event, even if he
right.
loses. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, it was funny because like we got when we got there, like we get to the table to check in, and then like I just see this tall guy in front of me, and then he's wearing that sweater, and then I'm like, this look familiar, and then like he took a picture of like the Iron Claw poster that was there. I just asked him like, "Hey, you want me to take a picture of you in front of it?" And he's like, "No, I'm good." And I was like, "All right." And then so I checked in, whatever. And then my wife was like looking at me, like she's like, "Is that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's him." So then we were in line to buy popcorn, and like so he was in front of us. And I wanted to talk to him, but I'm like, let me give him a space. He's just here. I mean, he's probably here to see a movie. I didn't know he was here to. Well, I did kind of know, but when we went in, like he just sat all the way in the back, and then so like it's funny because like the critics that were there, like we all know each other, so we're all like kind of like goofy-ish in a way. And then one of the guys walks in like singing the "I'm a Real American" song, and he's like, doing like that to the audience, like while we're sitting, we're like just all cracking up about it. And then I just like kind of look up to see like he's probably like this idiot, or whatever. But he was just like kind of smiling about it. But yeah, after the movie, we walked out, and then I just see him standing there because he was waiting for like his friend was in the bathroom, and then all the people that worked there are going up to him, taking pictures of him, and I was like, "Do I want to get a picture of him?" Or I just want it's like awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
I just went up to him and I was like, "Oh man, I'm glad to see you back at WWE." He was like, "Thanks," and I'm like, "Yeah, that pop when you walked out, I mean, that was crazy." I'm like, my whole family, we were at home watching at home, we were just screaming our heads off. He just like laughed. He was like, "Oh, thanks, man, thanks." I'm like, "Yeah, you enjoyed the movie?" He was like, "Yeah, it was good." And I was like, "All right, enjoy your day." And like he's like, "Thanks," because his friend already was walking over. Yeah, and he just walked out. And then like it's funny because my wife come out. She's like, "Was that CM Punk?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You should have got a picture." I'm like, "Well, you weren't here to take the picture with me." But yeah, he was pretty cool. He was like really down to earth about it.
Yeah.
And then from what I saw later, like other people that were there, like actually went up to him and got pictures with him. I guess he was really cool with everyone about it. But yeah, Iron Claw is a dope movie, man. If you guys get a chance, definitely
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
watch it.
Yeah, because we planned on seeing it, but I think we went next week, and for whatever reason, the theaters just didn't have the movie there. So I don't know if they only had like a week limited run or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like A24 kind of like dropped the ball with that one because they were like really pushing two other movies that they had at that time, Past Lives, and I think Zone of Interest.
Hmm.
So they were really pushing those for like award season, and then so Iron Claw unfortunately like came and went, and a lot of, I mean, those of us that that watched it or they're in that like the whole like critic thing, we're like Zac Efron should have been nominated for actor. That whole cast should have been nominated for something. The movie should have been nominated for something.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard story to watch. I mean, if you know like the story of Von Erichs, like it's not a happy movie.
Yeah.
Um, and then for them to put that type of performance in it and then not get anything, it's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully, other people will like, at least hear about it and go out and watch it.
Yeah.
So I mean, talking about like WWE, who would you say is your like favorite out
I
of
want to see.
the whole thing?
I want to
For
see if
me,
his answers changed. It's been. I remember his answer in
oh,
high
you
school.
remember
But
his
I wanna see
answer?
it.
Yeah, I'll say I don't know. For me, probably John Cena, my
John
number
Cena.
one.
And I don't know, because it's like watching it right now. I mean, and I think this is like everyone's favorite. So it sounds like a cop out answer, but LA Knight is like a lot of fun to watch.
Okay,
Just him going out there and do his thing. Uh, but like, I don't know.
of all
I'm
time,
glad
any
that
era,
and everything.
any era, yeah.
It's like a toss up between Rock and Stone Cold, like the old Rock back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. I
Not
got
how he is now, but Rock and Stone Cold are a lot of fun. But who do you remember? What are
I
you saying?
remember. I remember Razor Ramon.
There you
If you
go.
remember that.
you.
What's your yeah. Okay, but I digress. Was that ever an option for you, Razor Ramon? Or am I just
I mean,
like
I liked him, but
um,
I thought it was funny, like his whole bit.
a toothpick?
How he tried to yeah, try to come out with that accent. But I think did I ever do that in the classroom? Like raise my hand and tell y'all like when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Yo, you did, and you know what I did? I raised
Huh.
my hand and I was like, "What you know about Stone Cold Steve Austin?" He said, "I know a lot about that. Art, math, or it was English." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." 3 minutes later, what you know about Hulk Hogan? You were like, "All right, the Marvin, you can stop there." I was like, "Okay." So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, you did say that.
Like I'm like I remember saying that before. I'm like, did I ever say it in the classroom? If I were to say that now, I'd probably get in trouble because like schools are so different nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, I probably would still use it just to do a class in check or something.
Right.
All right. So this is a side question, just because. So Diker was your student back in the day, and this is the question I put on like the list, and Diker was like, "All right, maybe
Yeah.
don't ask this," but I was like, I'm gonna ask it anyways. I don't care. Was Diker a menace in class? Based on his, he might be, but I want to hear it from you.
he had his moments. I would say that he had days where I was just like, I don't know how many times I would have to say his name to like just get him like to focus on what we were doing. Um, but yeah, there was days where I was just like, oh man, he's
Damn
not
this
absent today. He's in
kid.
class today. Yeah,
Oh,
no, but yeah, it. Here's one thing. I mean, he might get. I mean, well, why not? Like I remember one time we were doing something. We had like we were doing. We were reading about at the Orson Welles,
I think I
World of
remember.
Worlds. We read about the World of the Worlds, right? And then so they got all these pictures in the book, like all the pictures were in black and white. And I remember he asked me, like, was there color when I was born? And then I'm just like,
Oh no.
I'm
Damn
like,
it,
what do you mean?
Deeker.
He's like, because all these, because there was there ever people did people see in color before? And I was like, dude, man, yeah, it's just the pictures that are in black and white, but everything was in color. There was something to that effect, and I was just like, man, really? But I thought it was hilarious because maybe some people, other people in the classroom thought like that, but didn't want to ask. But he was brave enough to put his hand up and ask that question, and I thought it was like the funniest thing. But now that I see about it, maybe other people felt the same way.
I
Yeah.
don't think I
I
ever
thought that
thought
was
about
funny.
that.
I got
Oh
two
my
other
god.
moments if you want to hear them, bro.
Let's hear him. Let's hear him.
But basically, the first one, those thick textbook that you get for like English and stuff. So the
Yep.
first thing I remember, it was page 10. We opened it up. Tell me why it's a gas pump. And I started singing, A mí me gusta la gasolina. And
Oh
then
my.
everybody started dying, bro. I was like, oh, no. Then the second was, I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was fly, middle schooler. I brought my uncle's cologne, which was like a polo, like ASSN, and I broke it in class.
Oh my.
I tried to fix it so bad, and I cut myself in one of the shards, and
Oh my.
I got I got sent to the nurse. And then when I came back, my backpack is on one side of the classroom, and the entire class is on the other side saying, "That shit stinks." I was like, "Oh, my fault, my fault."
Yeah, I
But
Boy,
remember that. That was
yeah,
too much.
yeah.
They're gonna make my class smell like that for like 2 weeks after.
Oh, damn it, Deeker.
A whole
My fault,
bottle.
my fault, my fault.
Brand
Yeah,
new, baby.
yeah, bro. But yeah,
Oh man.
sometimes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
basically Deeker's a menace. He's still a menace. He's still a menace to this day.
Chill, chill,
Facts or
chill.
no facts?
Anyways,
No,
MCU,
they don't.
right?
MCU.
No,
The Spider-Man
oh,
movie. I remember Deeker screaming.
Oh my.
Anyways, you were saying, Victor?
no, I was saying no, but what's kind of cool though, like how we all got back together again, like with Mr. Mr. Chang, taking us all out to eat.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool seeing like the stuff that you're doing now, like
Right.
with like the debate team and everything at school. Seeing stuff like that is pretty dope because like as a teacher, you kind of like wonder sometimes about what happens to your students, and like for us now it's different because like we got social media and whatnot, we got like Facebook and stuff like that. But like for other teachers, like back in the day, they didn't have that, unless they run into like a student somewhere, the grocery store is like, oh, how are you doing now? But it's kind of cool, like seeing what you and like some of the other kids from Nobel are doing, and then like how you've moved on, and like you're all out doing like bigger things now. It's always dope to see that, and then I hope that like some of the little stuff that I told you all, stuck in your head and like helped you guys to get where you were at.
For sure.
But yeah, that my 2 cents.
Thank you, thank you. Gonna make me start crying on camera.
Hey yo.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, T-Sway, any next topics?
Yeah, so I mean there's a bunch. So alright, the one of the reasons uh that I seen that you might like work for Rotten Tomatoes or you're trying to, cause
Yeah.
there's a follow up to that, cause so I try to watch more movies,
Uh,
and with my friends I'm like, yo, this movie's pretty good, try this or watch this, good recommendations. But the one time I said Love and Thunder, the Thor movie was pretty decent, I just lost all my like everything. Can't be trusted now apparently. They don't trust me at all anymore. I lost all my cred. So like, so as a, I know you're like a critic or a reviewer or I don't know what's like the term, But yeah,
All right.
so that's like the question to that.
Yeah. I mean, like for us, like how it all started was like when we started the website. We were always we write about like parenting, like stuff that we do with our kids.
Mm.
Little things that we've learned that maybe can help other parents. And then like um, I just like I went to I forgot what movie I went. I'm like, let me write about this and let people know. So I started doing that. I just started writing reviews, and then the way I would write them would be in a way that I don't give too much of the story. I just try to keep it short, and I describe them as like quick reviews for busy parents. So like I'll have like my whole outline of what I think about the story or about the movie, and if it's too much to read, I have like family or kid friendly violence and my final thought. So if you don't want to read like the like too long, don't what's it too long, don't read. Um, just read these three things at least. So we started doing that, and then at one of the C2E2s, there was a booth there, and the girl there was like giving out. There were like it was entries to like win like a backpack from like the Tom Cruise movie that was out at that time,
Mm.
and then there was like another like giveaway. So I was like, well, I was filling them out. I asked the girl, I'm like, oh, do you work for like the film companies? And she's like, yeah, I do. We do PR for movies. And I was like, oh, well, I do this website. I'm trying to get more into reviews. Can I give you my card? And if you guys have screenings or anything, let me know. And she's like, yeah, definitely. So I did that. And then like probably a couple weeks later, I got an email for like an Adam Sandler movie coming out. If I want to go to the screening, sweet. And then so I started doing that, and then writing the review, and then I'll email it to them, let them know that that I'm doing what I was told you guys I was going to do. And then that started slowly building up to getting to know more people, getting to invited to more movies. And a lot of the times it would all just be like family-based movies, so like cartoons and like the Marvel stuff, which was cool. Uh, so yeah, so I started doing that. I just started writing the reviews, and then I met a guy online that's part of like a film critic association here.
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and I was like, hey, I'm writing reviews. I see the stuff that you do, and he's like, why don't you should join us, so that way you can get more access to more things. So I did that. So I signed up. I'm actually in the process too right now of renewing my membership with them. And it's like, as long as you do like 50 reviews a year, you could become part of it. Or if you do 25, you could be like a half-time, like a part-time member.
Yeah.
But yeah, they link you up to like all the other like marketing promotion companies that are in the city. And then so that helps out.
Yeah.
Um, but for like Rotten Tomatoes, like I've applied, and then I applied this last year, and then I got denied, and they were just like, you need to broaden your range. You got a lot of movie reviews. You need to do more TV reviews if possible. And I'm like, all right, like I can try to do that. So a lot of the things with these is like it's about. I want to say it's not always about the writing. It's just about what you put on there.
Yeah.
Like how you said, you might have wrote a review about Thor, how much you loved it or liked it. But if you put like in your review, like why you thought it worked, why it didn't work, as long as you put both sides in your review, then it wouldn't, people would be like, okay, I get where he's coming from, and I'll listen to his reviews more. There are some critics out there that already have a bias. As soon as they walk into the theater, they're like, oh, this is gonna be crap,
Yeah.
and then they'll put that in their review. And then sometimes it's someone from like it's like a big person, so people will listen to them because they say that. For me, whenever I go into a movie, I always walk in with an open mind. I'm like, I try if I can see a trailer, I will. If not, I'll just go in blank and just let the movie talk to me while I'm there. That sounds weird to say it that way, but it's like I just go in there and sit down and then let's see what happens.
Yeah.
If I like it, I'll put down why I like it, why I think it works, and then same thing if I don't like it. And I think that was one of your questions, like what's the difference between like being the criticism and like the critic, is like being able to back up what you're saying. This movie reminded me of I don't know, Ant-Man so and so, the way it led up to its conclusion, but also it kind of reminded me of this DC movie with that, and I think more films need to stop doing that. But overall, catch it at a matinee, if anything. Unless you want to pay full price, pay half price.
Yeah.
So I try to keep my reviews like that. I try to keep them that this is why I like it and why. There's some critics that will like get really deep into the reviews and then like start talking about movies from like the 20s or the 50s and like those are cool and all because that shows that they actually are students of film.
Mhm.
But I don't think you need to be like a student of film to write film reviews. As long as you're able to to make a point and defend it, I think you can do it. Or anyone can do it. But also, there's a lot of people that are doing it that have no point at all in their review, and they're just like basically just repeating the entire movie and then giving it a rating. When it's like, no, I don't want you to tell me everything that happened. I want you to tell me why you liked it and why I should go see it.
They're not showing their work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Concur.
Decur, I know you're not.
All right.
You didn't explain.
Anyway,
All right.
something interesting, which is a small question, is obviously you got like all these benefits and things like that for screenings and stuff. What was the point where you were able to give that to the community? Because I know you were able to give screenings for people to sign up. I know we've used that for like Blue Beetle, the
Shout out.
Flash movie, things like that. So how were you able to get to that stuff?
That was the same thing. Same thing through that one girl I met at the C2E2. Like after that, she was like, we do screenings every now and then for people. Would you be interested in doing giveaways for that? And I was like, yeah, definitely, definitely. And then like the same thing. Like a lot at first, it was just a lot of like kid movies, or family because Fandads. So it's like they think it's just family orientated, which is dope and all. But like every now and then, I'm like, as a dad, as a father, I like action movies. I like watching like movies that are more like adult, orientated. Something that I don't have to think about. Like a cartoon character or something. Just something that will be fun to watch. So yeah, so now it's like little by little, I keep getting more and more different opportunities to give stuff like that. I think right now we just put up like the Kung Fu Panda 4, which is in March. So if you guys haven't get your tickets yet, quick plug, go to the Facebook page and then
Might have to do
make
that.
sure to hit that link.
So what's the next screening? First come first serve, exclusive access.
Yeah, that'd be the Kung Fu Panda 4.
I'm talking about the new one, like after that.
The
Or have you not?
unreleased.
Unreleased.
I have. There's nothing yet. I haven't been getting anything yet. I know tomorrow I'm gonna actually go see Dune 2, so I'm kind of excited about that. Because I finally watched the first one. It took me a couple of times because like I watched it like at night when I'm half asleep, and it's a slow paced movie, so I've fallen asleep.
Yeah,
So I finally
like
watched
3
the whole
hours.
thing, and I'm like, yeah. And I finally watched it. I'm like, okay, this movie's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. So now I want to see what part 2 is about because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything you've seen that you would say is like a hidden gem that maybe we haven't heard of?
Well, Past Lives is the one that a lot of people have been talking about, and that one's like, yeah, that one I really liked. There's one coming out called Robot Dreams, and that I think comes out next month, and it's an animated movie from I think it's Chile, and there's like no dialogue in it, and like the whole movie is about a dog who buys a robot for it to be his friend. And then so it's really quirky. It's cute because it's like there's no talking. There's just like it's all just like done through like their expressions. There's some cool music in it, and it's just like this summer of this dog that sees everybody around him coupled with someone and decides he wants a friend, so he buys one online. He buys this robot, and it's actually I think been nominated for like a animated film for the Oscars. So that one's a lot. It's really cool. I liked it a lot. And then other than that, there's one coming out. I don't know. Do you guys know the comedian Julio Torres? He's like really bizarre. He's been on Jimmy Fallon a couple of times, like doing skits.
Is he the light skinned one, like white?
Yeah,
face?
he's really light skinned. Yeah,
Yeah, with
he
the
has.
comb over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has one coming out called Problemista. We got to see it in July, but because of the actor strike and everything, they decided to hold on to it. But now it is coming out next month too. And that one is like bizarre because it's his comedy, so it's like it's just weird.
Yeah.
But it's about him trying to get a visa, and then the artist that he works with to get that visa and like the things that happen. So it's really quirky, but it's fun. And I've used that word a lot, quirky, but for him it actually fits.
Word.
Yeah, I got you.
What would you say the best movie of all time is? Because there's people that put The Godfathers up there, but I haven't seen them because they're like 3, 4 hours long, whatever it is. But it's
Right.
definitely on the lists. I know people said Citizen Kane, but that movie's like old, old. So
Yeah.
like, it's kind of hard to see for me like movies in black and white. The only one that I've seen recently that was black and white was The Lighthouse, and that's one of those like
Okay.
eerie, trippy like movies, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
what would you say in your opinion, and what would you consider like the best of all time movie? Or is that
Oh
even a
man.
thing? Because I guess it's all opinion at the end of the day. But what would you say?
Yeah. I would go with that. That it's all opinion. It's all just based on what you like. Um, I know I kept hearing about Citizen Kane a lot, and I did actually watch that. I think in high school.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you know what? Let me go. I went to like the video store and rented it, sat down and watched it, and I could see why people would say that, and it's because of a lot of like the camera stuff that Orson Welles did was like mind blowing at that time, like the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that he would do with it. It's definitely one of those movies that I would say go out and watch it when you can. It's like it's not like one of those that you have to watch.
Yeah.
But if you ever get a chance to watch it because it's an interesting story about having so much and not being fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also like it's good to see like how, like I said, like how high tech Orson Welles was with how he filmed it for that time and age. Because obviously there's no computers or anything, but the stuff that he did was like, how did he do this? And then when you see the behind the scenes of it, you're like, oh wow, that looks so simple. Like anyone can do it nowadays, but back then, like no one thought of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for me, man, I mean, for me, it's always comes down to I want to say like Empire Strikes Back is always like my favorite movie and like one that for me it's like it's just a perfect movie because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't end on a happy note, and that was like the first time that I've seen a movie that's done that.
Yeah.
Because at the end, Han's been captured, Luke lost his hand, and it's like you don't know what's going to happen next. Like, where are they going to go from here?
Yeah.
And it's not like, hey, everyone's been saved. We're done. But then that led to the next one. But like, if I want to do like classic movies, I can't really think of anything because yeah, there's some that came out before I was born that I never seen that
Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, you have to watch. But I always go with like the movies that I've enjoyed. So like that one would be one. The Professional or Leon, aka Leon. I don't know if you had anyone seen that one.
I haven't seen it,
Um,
but that's where Natalie Portman's a kid, right? She's like the hitman
yeah,
assistant or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's on the
That
list.
one
On the
is
list.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, because that one same thing. It's just like the way it's filmed. There's a lot of images in that look like they could be like paintings or just portraits. But it's a great story too. That's a good one. And then I don't know. I mean, I always like the Rocky movies. Those are
Rocky.
always a lot of
Yeah.
fun to watch. Like that underdog story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like if I want to do something like like foreign, El Norte was one that I would watch. Like my parents watched a couple of times over and over, and we ended up like practically knowing the movie by heart
Yeah.
as we watched it. But if those that don't know what it's about a brother and sister from Guatemala who like crossed the border to come to the United States, thinking that everything's gonna be streets paved with gold and all that, but then they realize how hard it is here, and then like the struggles they go through, just trying to survive. And then my parents would always be like, that's how we came here, like crossing the border, like so that's why they wanted us to watch it so we can learn about that. But that one's really a good movie too. And then one that I was talking about with my friend today is Blood In, Blood Out. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard the controversy and the good parts, the good and bad, I guess, about that movie.
Yeah, I mean that one is it's a good movie because it's like it shows like the life in East LA, like the gangs and everything, but also like how some of them are trying to get out of there, and then when they do, like the backlash they face from leaving their hood, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But that was always one that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Cause
It's not available anywhere too, which kind of sucks.
yeah. Cause I wanted to
Wait,
see it
actually,
too. Cause I saw the interview. I think with his name DJ Vlad or Vlad TV, something like that on YouTube. I forgot his name,
Wow.
but it was Danny Trejo talking about he saved the guy's life in real life because something in the movie didn't happen in real life, but in the movie they put it anyways.
Uh,
So that interview alone, I wanted to see it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So that was like the thing to that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, from what I know, it's like I don't even know if you can find it on DVD. Like
Oh, you know
unless you
what?
find a VHS copy somewhere, that's about
No,
it.
tell me
Yeah.
why. I was chilling, coming back home, right, from Chicago
Uh,
to college. They had it on the American Airlines, blood in, blood out, the original version. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
oh
yeah, I
wow,
watched it. Yeah, I watched it. I was like, okay, I guess we're
They
doing
took them
this.
all. They took them all.
Right.
Every
that's
copy.
funny. Only way you can watch it's on the plane now.
That's
Facts.
wild.
Yeah, shout out Alex. He's in the chat right now. But all right, so another question to a little back to what we were talking about is when you're critiquing and you got to put a score. How would you score a movie? Because some of these
Well,
movies recently have been doing like bad, and I've seen like the reviews, and they're like worse. So,
well, well, for my reviews though. Like, I don't score a movie. I don't. I mean, I don't believe in that.
mm,
Like recently we did. Like usually like by December, January, everybody's putting out their top 10 list of like the movies, and then what we do is like the movies we enjoyed in 2023. And I rather put it out like that because I don't want to put movies in. I mean, obviously, the when I write the movies, they're in a certain order, but it's
yeah,
like it's no, it's just because that's how I write them out. Um, but yeah, score wise, I mean, you get like the Rotten Tomato scores and like the Metacritic scores and all that, but those in a way can't really be trusted because you got a lot of people that do like the review bombing. Like if they don't like a movie, they're gonna go online and get like a group of people just to go to that site and say it's bad, and then you'll see a movie that a lot of people might have enjoyed, but it gets like a 10%
yeah,
rating from the fans, whereas like the critics give it like a 90, but it's because a certain base doesn't like the movie. um, I mean, like I kind of like what I mentioned, like when we first started, or before we started, it was like the Marvels. I mean, I had fun with that movie when I saw it in the theaters. And I even told everybody, I'm like, you guys got to see this. It's a lot of fun. It kind of like cleans the palette a little from what came out before with the MCU, like the last couple movies, and it was just a good movie. And then then people just like started hating on it without even going to see it.
yeah,
And then what happened was like Blue Beetle came out on HBO Max, and a lot of people that didn't see it in the theaters were like, tweeting about it and like talking about like, oh, this movie was so much good. I don't know why I didn't see it in the theaters. And then what I did was like I said, what's happening right now with Blue Beetle is going to happen to the Marvels when it comes out on Disney Plus. So
right,
you need to go see it in theaters before it's taken out.
yeah,
And sure enough, when the Marvels came out on Disney Plus, a lot of people were like, "Why didn't I go see this in the theaters? Why did I listen to all these people?" And that's the thing too. It's like there's like there's those fan base, those fandoms that like really hate something and kind of like hypnotize other people like to not go and support these movies. And then that's why you don't get like certain movies that don't get sequels or don't do as well as they're supposed to. But I don't mean I don't know what you guys thought about the Marvels. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was just a fun movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was alright. Like nothing too crazy. Like it wasn't too good, so it wasn't too bad, I guess. So I mean, just from what I've heard, it's just like in the middle.
Right.
yeah. It's on the list, like, cause
Another thing on the
I have
list.
a big list of movies and shows. I have to watch One Piece, cause all right, so like a side story. DK wanted me to watch One Piece, and I was like, man, it's 1,000 episodes. Like, now you're good. So I told him like a not a bet, but like a deal. They had to watch all the Star Wars. I'm talking about the movies, the shows, things that are not canon, and he did. He technically seen more Star Wars than me. Like,
Fancy.
I didn't see the
Fancy.
Bad Batch yet. He's seen it, so it's like, all right. So I started One Piece. So there's like, yeah, I gotta catch up. So that
What episode
things.
are you on?
Yeah, I'm
What episode are
episode
you?
71. out of like 1,000, like 1,100 something. Like it's the journey. It's good though. That's the thing. That's like, and I like pirate stuff and boats, so like it's good.
Yeah.
It's just like damn 1,000. But there's a question from the chat, by Alex. Shout out Alex CTV. He said, if there's one thing you could critique movie on what it is, since you don't like reviewing, what is your basis or something you would change in the reviews? That's what he said. I don't know. Or would you, based on his question? I don't know if he caught where you do like to review, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't like scoring the movies. I do like reviewing them. I mean, the one thing that I try not to do in my reviews is just re retell the whole story of the movie. Because I do see that sometimes every now and then with certain reviews where like they just say everything that happened and then here's my score. I just try to give hints at what's going on in the movie. I always keep everything spoiler free. I know some websites that do like the spoiler free review, and then after the movie comes out, they'll do the spoiler filled review.
Yeah.
To me, that's just like too much writing. I don't have enough time to do all
Yeah.
that. What I want to try to do more of is more like video reviews. Like we try to do that every now and then. Like with certain movies, like when we get there, we'll do like, hey, we're about to see this movie. We'll let you know what we think about it when we're out, and then when we come out, we'll do like a quick little thing. I know I did that with the Five Nights at Freddy movie when I went with my son. We did that, and then I know we did that with the Marvels too, with Gil, who's the other half of Fandads. That's like not really in front of the camera as much, but we've done that. And I want to try to do more though, at least like on TikTok or something, just like a quick little 2 minute review.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't try not to. I don't really hate review. I mean, sitting down sometimes I do get stuck writing because like I'll see maybe like 3 movies in a week, and then I'm like, which one was I writing about right now? You know, it's just try to keep that pace of let me knock it out as soon as I watch it, so I don't get confused with anything else. But then sometimes that's just hard too because it's like hard to write down all your thoughts, and you want it to make sense what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to keep that voice recorder after the movie. Keep notes while it's still fresh.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I don't know if you've seen Madam Web, because a lot of people on TikTok are hating on the movie, and I've seen some of the clips. It don't look good. I ain't gonna lie,
yeah,
because I know a little of Madam Web, and I thought she was supposed to be like an older Spider Woman, I guess, in her chair. I don't know if they put
yeah.
that in the movie or not, but that's what I remember seeing when I was a kid with the animated Spider Man show, and it was always her interaction with Peter. And I don't know how this. I obviously I didn't see the movie, but just on based on a lot of people's opinions on everywhere on TikTok, they hated it. Hated it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I haven't. The one screening they had for that was like at 11 a.m. on a Monday,
Gotcha,
and I was
gotcha.
like, oh, I can't do that because it was supposed to be at 7 p.m. that night, and then they flipped it and they put the Bob Marley movie at night and the Madam Web during the day, and I'm like, I can't go. And I'm like, is there any other screenings for this? And they're like, no, that's the only one. And I was like, well then, I have to see it when I see it then. And I still haven't seen it. I kind of want to see it.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna wait till like it comes to like like the $3 cinema or something like
Right.
that. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
where it's like really cheap to watch. Or but I want to see it on the big screen just to see it. But yeah, with everything that's coming out, I don't know if I want to pay full price.
yeah.
Mm.
Because it's not looking good. But
Yeah, no.
this is all right. So this is a topic similar that we wrote down in the past, but we didn't talk about. Was there's 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 with the digital age, there's like gonna be no more DVDs. It's like Best Buy, they're like done with that. They're not doing no more DVDs. And I know a lot of people
Yeah.
collect their Blu-ray like collection and stuff like that. Do you think that like what do you think? What's your thoughts on that? Because I know there's
I
for the collectors, I guess.
Yeah, no, I like the physical discs. Because there's like nights where I'll get on like Netflix or like Disney Plus because I want to watch something, and then it's like the service is down, or like it just keeps like doing that loop over and over, and I'm like, wait, I got the disc. Let me just pull out the disc and watch it.
Yeah,
So I'd rather have a disc for that. Same thing with like games. I'd rather buy the actual physical game because if your internet's down, at least you can still put the disc in and play it somehow. Um, And then always too, like there's always cool collector's editions that come out. I mean, I used to always buy like when I worked at GameStop years ago, like I would always buy like the super deluxe collector's edition because all the cool stuff that it had.
I'll show you mine.
Um, but
Nice.
yeah, nowadays it's like it's scary to know that because too like if once the movie it's not like if it's removed like like Hulu and Amazon every now and then remove something from the service, and if there's no disc for it, that thing is gone forever. And you're never gonna watch it again, or never can see it again.
Yeah, like that movie you guys were talking about earlier, where DeMarvin could only watch it on
Yeah,
his flight.
Yeah, you watch it on his plane.
Yeah.
It cost him a plane ticket to watch it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and I get you. Because, all right, I'm just going to show you real quick. I only got a
Yeah.
couple of these steel books, but I got the Far Cry 6 with the
Nice.
floating heads. I got that one. Got Red Dead Redemption 2. Amazing ass game.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11. They went with the plain Gold Dragon, but it's all right. Far Cry 5, I believe. With like the Colt kind of. And then the new Mortal Kombat 1. The Gold Dragon. That's all I got so far, but they be taxing for those mega collections. All right, but Alex, he said another question from the chat. What's your thoughts on movie theaters now versus then? Example, aka younger, and other examples you miss about them going to the movies.
Back then, it makes me sound like I'm ancient. Back in my day,
Sounding like D. Curry.
Okay. All right.
Multiple personalities.
Yeah. No, but I mean, no. I mean, what I like about the theaters now is how they're made and how they're set up. Because back then it was pretty much like just flat.
Yeah.
So if someone that was tall sat in front of you, and there was no other open seats, then you're just gonna see a back of a head for like 2 hours. So I like how the theaters now are more like that stadium seating. 'Cause it makes it a lot easier to watch. Especially the technology now. Like if you go see something in Dolby and like the way your chairs and everything shake, and then they got like the 4X screenings, like they throw water and everything at you. Yeah,
40, yeah.
The IMAX.
yeah, that's just there's a lot of stuff. Like when I was growing up, like the only way you could see something in IMAX was like at the Museum of Science and Industry because they were like the first ones that had that IMAX screen. But back then, I mean, it was just like it was easier kind of to sneak into from one theater to another. Not that I did that. Back in the day, like watch 3 movies, but also too, you could just sit in the theater and stay there all day. I remember one time, like my family, it was like my mom, my aunt, and my cousins. We went to see Grease, so it was like a re-screening of it, whatever. And I think we sat there and watched it like 3 times.
Yeah.
And there was like no one there to tell you to leave, whereas now it's like with the assigned seating, once the movie's done, you got to go because someone else probably bought that seat you're sitting in.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of more like cheaper theaters. Like it was like they would play movies that came out like say last October, and it would be like $3 just to go see it. But now it's like there's like certain theaters that have like that, but it's not as cheap. And not many theaters do midnight movies anymore. They used to do that when movies would come out. There would be like that 12:01 ticket, so you would be at the theater, exactly at midnight to watch it when everybody else would too. Right now, I think the Music Box is the only one that still does like midnight movies, but those are always like classics or something like that, and those are always fun to watch too. Like a lot of movies that I never saw growing up, I would go to the Music Box and watch. Like I saw Taxi Driver there. I went by myself because no one wanted to go. Like, why do you want to go see that? I'm like, it's a Robert De Niro movie, and it's found a big screen, and they're like, no. And then I went and saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Music Box is always a great theater to go to because they play a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, Taxi Driver also on the list. Big list. It gets bigger every day. But all right. So with that, the downfall of Blockbuster, because when me and my brother, when we were kids, we would go to like our cousin's house. We'll rent out these movies and we'll watch them. We were like mostly like action movies, Because there's movies we've seen and my brother doesn't remember them. He's like, "You didn't see that movie?" I'm like, "We did." But even though I don't remember everything, because it was like years ago when I was like in fourth, fifth grade, but like we've seen them. But Blockbuster, hate to see it. Left
Yeah,
too soon.
yeah. Those were the nights, man. Going to Blockbuster, renting 3 movies, and then ordering a pizza.
Oh yeah,
Can't do that anymore.
facts. So so you think it's better though now, like with streaming, you could just stream whatever. Because the one thing I don't like, all right, so now there's not going to be no more DVDs slowly eventually. But let's say you want to see a movie, Netflix don't got it, Hulu don't got it, none of these places got it. Not even YouTube, even if you have to pay for it. Like that's like I think is like the downside of how things are going for that at least. Obviously, there's a bunch of
Yeah,
good, but
yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, there's a lot to stream, and
yeah,
we don't have that much time to see everything. But it's always that like, it always comes down to that. Like, there's that one thing that you want to watch, and you can't find it anywhere. So if you still have like the DVD or the VHS tape, that's the only way you can watch it.
yeah,
Then again, a lot of people might not have VHS tapes anymore or a VCR player to watch it. But yeah, and like I kind of mentioned earlier, like it's sad. Like there was that one show on Disney Plus with Tony Hale. It was like him and some kids. It was like kind of like a detective show. It's taken off of Disney Plus. It's not on there anymore.
yeah,
And like it never came out on DVD or anything. So all that work that those people did, it just disappeared. And that'll be sad. That's gonna if that keeps continuing.
yeah.
Well, small question I have, just in general, given that you're in Chicago and a movie, I wouldn't say addict, but a movie extraordinaire again. What are your top three places to go watch movies in Chicago? I know Block 37, if that's the name of it, is like a big thing now.
Uh,
So what would you recommend?
um, for me, I would say it comes down to paying the parking.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, you're gonna spend like, well, for me, it's usually like 60, 70 on tickets because it's family of four, and then with snacks and everything. So whatever doesn't charge as much for parking. But I really like New City on Clybourne. That's the one I've been going to a lot for some screenings, and like parking's only $2, so I enjoy that one. The Regal, the City North, because that's right by me, so it's easy. I mean, I could take the bus there if I want.
Yeah, that's a nice theater.
But also, yeah, and it's changed a lot too. Because like when it first opened, it was nice, and then it kind of got like ghetto, and now like it kind of fixed it up again. And it's a good theater to go to. Every now and then, yeah, there's like issues there, but I mean, and then also too, parking is not that bad either there. And then the other one I would say would be like the Music Box. The Music Box is just a cool theater to go to because it's been around for like ages. They have a like an organ player there between movies, which is always dope to see. They did fix it up a little, so it's kind of nicer. The sound there is really good. And then like they always play like like classic movies there or something that you've never seen. Um, and it's just a fun theater to go to. So I would recommend definitely if you've never gone there, go to their website, just check out what they're playing. They always do like themes every now and then, so they'll play certain movies for like certain directors or just certain genres. And then I'll definitely go check it out. At least go once to experience it, especially with the piano, the organ player, because that's always a lot of
Yeah.
fun, like between movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now we just go to classic cinemas on Tuesday because those are the $5 tickets. So, hey, the seats kind of nice. I mean,
Right.
depends which one you're going to, but five
Right.
dollars, $5
Yeah.
Yeah,
saves a
yeah,
lot.
definitely.
I remember one time I went to the Regal one, and we went to see one of the Predator ones. I was like, "Yo, I'll pay for the tickets," because I was with my family, so there's like five of us.
Uh,
I was so mad, dude. The tickets went out to like 75 or something. I was like, "What?" It wasn't even like IMAX or anything. It was just like the standard.
oh man.
That was crazy.
Hey.
No, low key. Now that I remember, what was that one movie that we had to like wait for the minute it came out to get the tickets? Was it Spider Man? It wasn't Spider Man, right? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah, it
2 years.
was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We
Oh
had
yeah,
like
No Way
five
Home,
of
right?
us on different websites. Yeah.
It was Fandango. It was crazy, but we got the
Yeah.
tickets. But yeah,
Facts.
I digress. I digress.
Yeah, so in that movie, when we were watching it, one, Deeker didn't know who Daredevil was. And
Whoa,
I'm
whoa,
like,
okay,
bro.
hold on.
Because I was
Okay,
so
okay.
hyped. I was like, I got the chills. And I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of the Daredevil. And Deeker didn't know who that was. He was just like, who is that?
Who's this blind guy?
Oh, my. But, yeah, there was a bunch of times where, like, Deeker would be like, yo, nah! Start clapping. I'm like, yo, chill.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing too about like going to theaters, man. You got that experience because like with like Endgame, like when that scene when everyone started coming out of the hose, like how everybody just went crazy in the theater.
Yeah.
Same thing with No Way Home, man. When like I was like same way when Daredevil when he caught the brick, I was like, wait, what? He's in
Yeah.
this? I was like, nice.
Yeah.
And then when the other Spider-Man started coming out, like everyone was just losing their heads.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's always that fun experience just to be there with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
When Captain America got the hammer, I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He said what? Yo, that
Hey,
was
yo.
crazy.
like, I'm getting like goosebumps right now thinking about that
Oh,
part.
yeah. That's
But yeah, that
good.
was
That's
just like,
good. Yeah.
You
All
think
right.
any movie will be like that, where everybody comes out to see it, everybody's hyped, and then
Oh, I
the
already know.
What?
what movie do you
Shrek
think?
4.
Oh,
Or the
okay,
new
buddy.
Shrek.
Get
The
out of
new
here.
Shrek. Puss in Boots was crazy. First of all,
Who,
Boots was
Puss
crazy,
in
but
Boots was goaded. That movie was
and
so
then
good.
yes, and then the Forever or whatever the sign is, Forever
Far
ever.
Far Away.
Yeah.
There you go, far away. Whatever. See, it's been a year, but when people saw that, oh yeah, it was about to go crazy, bro. Like Donkey, everybody's gonna like what?
Hey, yo.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro.
All
But
right.
yeah.
So, shout out Pack. He has a question for you, Fandads. He said, what are Fandads' favorite memorable quotes or dialogue in movies?
Mm.
The good ones, good ones.
funny. That's funny.
Because there's not that
Man,
many one-liners, like good one-liners in recent movies. Like before, obviously, yeah, Arnold get to the chopper. There's
I'll
there's a
get back.
bunch. Let me just think about them, but
yeah,
there's
yeah,
not that many in recent movies. I don't think, because it's
like
something
like
me
you,
and my
you
brother talked about. Yeah.
yeah, like Taxi Driver, the whole you talking to me, that whole scene.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
oh, this is funny too. Um, this goes back to like talking about Funkos. They're releasing Goodfellas
Yeah, I seen
and
that.
Funkos. So I sent it to my friend. I was like, "Oh, check these out," and he's like, "Oh, these are cool." And then I'm like, and then and what did he respond? He responded something after that, like, "Oh yeah, they're kind of funny looking." And I'm like, "Are you calling me funny looking?" I'm like, "How do I make you laugh?" And I'm like texting this to him, and he's like, "Dude, you all right?" And I'm like, "Do I, am I clowning you?" And then like it took him a minute to realize that I'm like doing the scene to him on like via text, but since we're not talking, it's
Yeah.
like you're just reading it.
Yeah.
But in recent movies, I can't really think of anything that's like that I would say to repeat to someone. But I remember like I think I wrote something about like fun lines for kids, like like "You Got a Friend in Me" is always like a big one for Toy Story movies.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever saw the Monster Squad, or like Wolfman Got Nards is one that always cracks me up.
That
You
one.
ever seen that movie?
No, I don't
That
think
one.
Is
so.
that on the list? You should add that to the list.
I added to the list. What was it called? Monster
Um,
Squad.
the Monster Squad, yeah, I think that one did come out on DVD a while back, but it's really quick. It's about this kid who loves horror movies, and all of a sudden, like the Dracula, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Mummy appear in his town, and then so him and a couple of other friends get together to try to fight them. So it was like when like the Goonies and all that came out, like those like type of movies. But it's a lot of fun. And then yeah, a kid kicks the Wolfman between the legs, and like the Wolfman reacts, and they're like, "Oh wow, Wolfman has nards." Um, like the, um, I don't know. I can't think of anything
Yeah, I don't
like
know. I don't
that's
know.
recent.
I don't
I
know if like
mean,
recent movies have like one-liners like that, or any like
from
quotes that you remember that like sticks with you. The only thing I could
One
think
that
of is like The Dark Knight, where it's like you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
like
Good as
the
well.
Why So Serious
Why so
yeah.
serious?
is
Yeah,
always a
that's the
good
one too.
one. Um,
But
Actually, there's one. Like, again, this goes to like the movie I talked about earlier, Past Lives. Like he says, "Well, see you next time." And then like obviously, right, that doesn't mean much, but like when you watch the entire movie, and then like the weight of those words, like it hits you. Um, so maybe that'd be one that I kind of like. Maybe I could use that on my kids every now and then. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think, but there's like nothing
I
that really pops up.
So we're not gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Literally, Thanos. I'm inevitable. No Thanos quotes is kind of crazy. I know.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Bro, what
That one
about
Okay.
was kind of crazy.
reality could be whatever you want it to be? What you know
Oh,
about that? What you know about that?
if they become memes, I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad, but okay.
No, the one I like was in I think Fast Five. This is Brazil.
Oh yeah, Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I like
Very
that
good,
That's a
very
one.
good
good.
one.
That's
Let's
valid.
see
That's valid.
what else. Is there any good
Other than
ones?
nah.
I'm trying to think. The you son of a bitch, and
Yeah,
the Predator
yo,
movie.
long live, long live. That was
Yeah.
good. That was
Peace.
good.
That I always crack up when I see that, and then like someone edit it so when their hands hit, like there's an explosion. I think that's funny.
Yeah, cause all right. So yesterday at work, I saw John Wick 2. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but I
Yeah.
saw a meme in the movie, and that was from the Matrix, Morbius. Forgot his name in real life, but he was like, "Get this man a gun." But seeing that meme in the movie, I was like, "Yo, I don't know it was from that." But yeah, it was good. I liked it. John Wick 2. It's good.
Those movies are good.
Yeah.
Those are ones I would recommend like if they ever come back in the theaters to watch them because that's the action and
Oh yeah.
as ridiculous as the action is, I mean they're really good.
Yeah, I still
Like the
have.
Fast X movies, like no one
Oh,
could do that in a car, but
that's true.
it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Those are good watches.
What were you gonna say, Kiki?
Well, I was gonna say I still have to see the fourth one just because I was watching 1, 2, and 3 like while it came out. So once I finished those, it's like it wasn't even in the theater anymore.
Gotcha.
So still got to see it.
Yep. On
It's
the
in
list. On
my
the list.
list. Yeah.
All right. So this is something we talked about. I think maybe the last podcast. All right, but it's movie related. The best horror movie of all time, or even you can say your top five. That's fine too. I went with Sinister as my number one. Second, Hereditary. Three, maybe one of the probably one of the Conjurings, and then probably the first Insidious, and then fifth one probably the original Paranormal Activity. When I was younger, thought that shit was real. I ain't gonna lie. So what about you guys? Or
Excuse me.
What's your top five or number one? Either one.
For me, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Okay. Okay.
the original one. I remember seeing that when I was little, and that just like terrified me. And then watching it again and again and again, I'm like, it's one of those movies that even now to this day, like the last 20 minutes still like have me like my anxiety like level high. But it's such a great movie. So that one would be one on there. The Black Phone would be another one that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That one was a good one. Talk to Me that just came out not too long ago too. That one was a really freaky one. Uh, Growing up, I want to say like the Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead movie.
Yeah.
I remember my dad coming home from the video store with that one, and we were like, "Oh, cool, scary movie, let's watch it." And then I was like this for like the whole time, like watching it. And if I didn't have my eyes closed, I had my hands over my ears.
Yeah.
It was like the demon voices and all that just like freaked me out, and I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
But that's become like one of my favorite movies. And then like fifth wise, or I would say Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is always one that I usually watch during Halloween over and over. And then the original Creep Show. I don't know if y'all ever seen that one. That one's one of my favorites. Every Father's Day, I always watch the Father's Day segment. I don't know why it's become a tradition for me, but I always watch that. Like as soon as midnight hits, I pop in the DVD and I just watch that one segment and then go to bed.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best slasher killer?
Ooh, there's
Because
only one right answer.
I think
One.
overall, Jason Voorhees beats everybody. But movie wise, it might be I like the Freddy Krueger movies or maybe Michael Myers. But who would win a fight? I think Jason Voorhees wins. What do you think?
Yeah.
Who wins in a fight, or
No.
who's like our favorite?
Well, I said both. You know what I mean? This is like a
Yeah.
two-parter
Yeah.
question.
I would go with Michael Myers. I mean, because it's funny because with him and Jason, they're both the same because they got the mask, so you don't really know what's going on behind them, behind those that behind that the whole mask, whatever.
Right.
But there's just something about like the. It sounds weird to say, but like the chill of Michael Myers that makes him even more scary.
Yeah.
Because it's like he just has like a walk to him. Whereas Jason, it seems like he's like struggling every now and then to walk, whatever. But like Michael Myers is just like he's gliding sometimes. And it's just there's just something about that that's scary.
Yeah.
He
So yeah, I
sprints
would
when
go
you're
with
not
him.
looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah, I would say Jason too. Uh, maybe depends which one. I don't know. There are a couple of them. Like the first one, I think it was his mom. The second one was some random guy, and then the third one, I think it was finally Jason. Uh, yeah, Freddy Krueger. That one was scary, as like when I've seen it, like as a kid, like them coming out of the bed. I was damn. Yeah, I'd probably say Jason as like favorite, and he probably also win. He's like a literal demon. So, there's
Nah, bro,
that.
y'all wildin', bro. There's only one right answer.
oh my.
Huh? Well, sure, y'all can have fun with that, but you're not gonna catch me at a camping site in the woods. Me? If I'm going to the store and see Chucky dolls,
Oh
oh,
my.
I'm
Dang.
leaving.
Get this guy.
What? That's someone that could drive, talk, sleep, and all the above. Oh yeah, nah, I'm good.
Charles D. Ray.
It's
I
Charles
mean,
D. Ray.
I mean,
But
I don't know.
yeah,
Chucky's they were kind of funny. The movies, I think.
This is
it
funny.
was funny. The running had me dead, but yeah,
It's funny because I always see that. I'm like, can't you just like give him like a good
like a little
running
putt,
kick?
Yeah, but
Like, just like, give him a good running kick and he'll go flying away, and then
right?
that gives you like time to run away from them.
Facts.
But
that's true.
you never know.
Who wins in a fight though? Chucky or Annabelle? What you got?
Probably Chucky.
Chucky still?
'Cause
Okay.
I don't really think Annabelle does much.
Yeah, she might drop a cabinet on him, but but yeah, yeah, Chucky might win. I
Okay,
don't know how
okay.
you would defeat Annabelle, but he got it.
Chucky seems more lethal. He'll
Yeah.
actually
He's quick. He's
he'll
quick.
fight till he dies.
Because I know Quentin Tarantino said Leatherface was one of his favorite also, or it was a perfect movie. He said one of those in an interview. But you
Uh-huh.
still would you say you still got Michael Myers over Leatherface?
Yeah, yeah. But I think Leatherface would get too confused, like trying to hunt Michael down, and Michael just be like, "I'm over here," and then take him out.
Facts. The one thing I didn't like in one of the Michael Myers movies, it's not the recent one, but the one before, is he had a giant like kitchen knife. But when he went in the kitchen, he found a smaller one, and he used that one instead. I'm like, what? Dude, does it matter? I don't know.
Maybe like with the swing, the bigger knife is like slower. The smaller knife is more aerodynamic.
Facts.
Oh, I
Sounds
like it. I like it.
all right. Another slasher that's basically becoming a thing is Winnie the Pooh. They dropped the second movie trailer, Blood and Honey. What you think about that? I didn't see the first one,
Yeah,
but they made a
same.
second one, so I don't know. I don't know where they're going
I
with
don't.
that.
It's like I don't know. I haven't seen any of those. I'm interested to see them, but they're like they kind of remind me of like the Terrifier movies.
Yeah,
Like they're just gonna be like insane with like the horror and with like the
Mm.
killing. Um, 'Cause yeah, those movies are
pretty
they
gory.
remind me of they're super gory and they remind me of like the Traumaville movies, like the Toxic Avenger when those came out. Like those, I remember like on the boxes of the VHS players, it said like too gory for the screen. So I was like, I gotta rent that then. But it was like super bloody and like people just getting ripped to limbs, and you're just like, how do they do? Okay, you know it's fake, but still, it's like, how do they do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what those Winnie the Pooh movie reminds me of. That they're gonna be like that crazy.
Are you a fan of the Saw movies?
Yeah, yeah. I remember I like watching those. I remember we have like the collector set of like
Gotcha.
1 through like 4 or something.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the last one, which I heard was really good.
Yeah, it's
I
Yeah,
good.
it's
just never
pretty
got a
good.
chance to.
Yeah, no spoiler, but it looks real. What they're doing, so, like you said, like hot, it's fake, but how they doing that? You know what I mean? It looks like real,
Yeah.
scary
Oh,
real, but
Mhm.
it's good, story
the one thing I
wise.
didn't
Yeah.
like, they had that Mexico filter.
No.
So the moment they cross the border, you see everything's yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I don't like how they do like in movies or shows. Because I told my mom that, and she's like, "Yeah, Mexico's not like that at all. It's normal, but in
Yeah, that's
movies it's yellow." You
yeah,
know what
that's
I
why I
mean?
like Narcos, like the Narcos Mexico. They show like every part of the entire country, and it's like it looks really beautiful over there. So,
Yeah.
and that show, that's kind of crazy. So, and it's
Narcos.
not yellow.
Yeah, not yellow. And then what's what are is there movies that you want to see next coming up besides like the ones you like said? Is there any like
Um,
horror ones? Because I know they came out with the Infinity Pool, but that looks it don't look good to me for some reason.
Or the one with the bear.
oh,
The-
was it Imaginary?
yeah, I think so. Imaginary.
That one I'm interested in because it's like it's from the guy that did Nope.
Nope.
It's from his production company,
Okay, okay.
Monkey
Oh,
Paw.
Monkey Paw.
Not
I think
Keegan.
Monkey Paw was Jordan Peele,
Jordan Peele.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's from his production company. So I'm interested because I mean I think like he wants to put out good stuff out there.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't really seen any like trailers for scary stuff coming soon. There's one coming out called Spider, I think it is, or Sting. It's
Yeah.
about a girl who like meets like a alien spider, which kind of looks spooky. Um,
Madam Web?
Hey,
All right.
it's the prequel to
Of
Madam
the
Web. Uh, no, I'm trying to think. Uh, I did get sent one that I haven't watched it. That it came out this Friday in theaters, but I asked them if I could get a thing. It's called Stop Motion, and that's I heard it's supposed to be really messed up. So I'll probably try to watch that tonight and see what it says, see how it is.
yeah.
Okay, that's
But I
cool.
haven't really watched anything really scary recently. The last thing I saw was called Night with the Devil, and it stars David Dalmatian, the one that played that he's an Ant Man. He's the Russian guy that's with
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
talking about
the
the Baba Yaga?
yeah
Yeah, that
him
guy.
yeah. And then that one I saw it, and it's I think it comes out next month. But it's set like in the '70s, and he's like a talk show host, and then like things go crazy one night when they try to like they have a hypnotist on or something. But that one I saw and it was really good. It's like one of those that has like that slow burn throughout the movie, but then like the last 20 minutes you're just like, what the hell's going on and why? And do I still want to watch this? And yes, I do want to watch this, but now I'm scared. Um, but it was really good. I enjoyed that one. But I don't know. I think they're making another Saw.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
think
think
another Saw is
so.
coming out. I don't know when,
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't really seen much. And then too, a lot of the things with the scary movies is that they always come out on Shudder. So it's like one of those other streaming services that you got to try to pick up to watch because like I don't know if they're just like small distribution that they just get picked up and just get put online, but there's not really much in theaters right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. All right, so I'm thinking one final question. What's your favorite movie or film?
for that, yeah, I'll go with what I said earlier was Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
like my favorite of all time.
Okay, I would say for me, I'd probably pick the third Lord of the Rings. I think to me that was like it was just like a perfect movie. It was really good, story really good, music good, everything. See about D Marvin?
Hey, chill. Yeah, I haven't watched movies in a minute, so I guess I'll do a vintage one and then a new one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Um,
Whatever you
the
like.
new one, it gotta be No Way Home, bro. I was spazzing in that movie theater like never before, bro. Like when my boy got stabbed, you could hear me say, "Oh nah!" Like everyone turned back. I was like, "Oh, my fault." But there's that. I would say, dang, vintage. It got to be Training Day, bro. It needs to be a Denzel
Training
movie.
Day.
Yeah. King Kong has what? Nothing
Hey,
on me. That's crazy.
that's another good quote. That's one of
It's
them
nasty.
There
that
you
people
go.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
you
Cause
say?
all right, so yeah, if I say my favorite movie of all time, I definitely lose cred, like for sure.
Okay.
It's literally
Yes.
like,
Thor 2.
yo, chill, chill, chill.
Dark World.
All right, so my favorite movie of all time that I've literally watched like hundreds of times is Night at the Roxbury. You know about that? Yeah. But
Emilio. There you go.
Emilio. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a good
All right,
one.
we're done here. We're done here.
Yeah, because all right, so when we were kids, that was like one of the DVDs that we had for some reason. I don't even remember buying it or nothing. We just had it and we just watched it all the time. We do like the head nod, the "What Is Love" song, bro. Yeah, definitely lose creds with the bigger movie guys out there. Like, ain't no way that's your number one. But I don't know if it's number one. It's just my favorite. But number one overall, I don't know. Like I said, there's like a bunch of movies.
No,
Kind
no,
of
it was
kind
just
of
like your
blanking.
favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll go
just
with
fake
that one
Yeah.
then. Night of the Roxbury.
Yeah, I like Will Ferrell
Nice.
in all his movies. He's always funny, no matter what he's in.
Bro is a menace.
Goofball.
So were you nodding your head then when Claw was singing "What Is Love" in Black Panther?
Waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. A little bit.
he thought, nah, he thought he was the hero for a second.
Facts, facts. All right. We're all right, so we're towards the end of the podcast. I just wanted to say big thanks for, doing this like collab feature with us. I know like I know you're like a big movie guy. I watch your stuff like on YouTube or on Instagram, and I'm like, all right. It's interesting, like the stuff that you
Thank you.
do. And yeah, I asked D Kerr, DeMarvin. I was like, yo, like because we've been doing the podcast like it was like a reboot we did like a
Mhm.
little while ago, and trying to get more people or guests. So I was like, maybe he's down, maybe not. But I just want to say like thanks for doing it, taking time out of your day. But if there's
Oh man,
anything you want to say or anything you want to plug out, let us know.
yeah, no, thanks, man. Thanks for the opportunity. I mean, I think the one thing like we all got to do is just like help, just support each other.
Yeah.
I try as much as I can to like retweet or reshare stuff that people put out. Because like people that like for example people that follow me that don't follow anybody else that I follow, like they'll see it, they'll be like, oh, okay, if he's vouching for them,
Yeah.
they must be good. But no, I mean, I think one of the big goals for us this year was to try to do more stuff, try to do more collabs. So hopefully, this will lead to more things, and then just, yeah. I mean, thanks for the opportunity. It's fun, talking stuff like this with the
Yeah.
like-minded people and just, just shooting the breeze for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
Just
And in the future, maybe we'll get you back. We'll talk about movies that we took down on the list. You know what I mean? I'll put your description, all that in the bio, in the description. So like, if people wanna tune into Fandads, see what they're up to, I'll put it in there. Just want to
Nice.
say like,
Yeah.
subscribe. Shout out Victor for Fandads. Shout out D Kerr. Shout out Admin, Danny in the background. Shout out Tito. And yeah, like, subscribe. Till next time.